Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and every YouTuber on the planet, every man, woman, child, even your grandmother placed an order on the C8 Corvette. So only one of them is going to be first. So what's going to happen? We're going to have 100,000 C8 Corvettes. They only sold 8,900 NSXs. They only sold 740 BMW 1Ms, yet we're going to have 100,000 C8 Corvettes. So here are 3 Corvettes you can buy right now while you wait to buy a C8 Corvette. So maybe everybody thinks they're going to be first. Everybody's dealer's telling them it's the first one, the first allocation. You may be waiting 6 months. You may be waiting a year for a C8 Corvette. By then, they're going to announce Z06 specs. They're going to announce Grand Sport specs. And you may not want that base model. I have one friend that priced out a base model and ordered it. He took almost every single option. It was like $87,000. I think that's insane because you'll probably get an 800 horsepower C8 Z06 for 80 with no options. So would you want a fully loaded base model when you can get a Z06? Doesn't make sense. So why would you do that? Also, you don't want first year teething problems. You don't want one of the first Corvettes. I don't, because you may have problems with overheating. You may have the dual clutch transmission. People say, oh, it's got a Porsche dual clutch transmission. No, they're using the same supplier. Still took Porsche 3 years to really get that dual clutch to be good. There's a reason why 2009 Porsches are so cheap with PDK, because the dual clutch transmission sucked. It took them to about, I would say, 2012 before they kind of perfected it and then kind of took off from there. And now, like McLaren, have some of the best dual clutches in the business. So in this video, here's 3 Corvettes you can buy right now while you wait for your C8 Corvette. And one of these cars is even going to go up in value. So remember to watch this video all the way through. Hit that subscribe button. If you're still watching this video, hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Like and share these videos. And leave a comment below. What do you think of my 3 choices? Did I miss anything? Leave it in the comments below. If you like some of my choices, let me know in those comments. I read each and every one. All right, guys, now on with the video. All right, guys, so I'm going to tell you the 3 Corvettes in this video, and the last one is actually going to go up in value. So people wonder how I buy these S2000s, NSXs, Porsche Turbos, BMW M cars, and are able to drive them for a few years and sell them for a profit. You'll be able to do the exact same thing with this car, so to make sure to watch the video all the way through. And the first car we're going to start up with is, I still have a busted thumb. This has been going on for months now. The first car that we're going to start with, hockey injury, is a car that I actually own. So we're the only YouTube channel that's owned 3 Corvettes. If we do get a C8 Corvette to the channel, which we probably will at some point, maybe we'll wait for a Grand Sport or Z06, we'll actually have 4 Corvettes. All right, guys, our first car is a car I actually own, the Corvette C5 Z06. Now, I bought this car, had it for 3 years. I sold it for my first Porsche, put 20,000 miles on it, did numerous track days, probably 10 or 20 track days a year with it if I include autocross. I bought this car for $29,000 used, and I sold it for $29,500. So I actually made $500 on the car. You know, I did oil changes. I may have put rear tires on it, but it was a phenomenal car to drive and cost me almost nothing to own. And these cars have dropped a lot further, and I think they're at the bottom of the depreciation curve, and that's why you should pick up one of these cars right now. So here in the United States, they were sold model year 2001 to 2004. Concentrate on 02 to 04s, because in 02 they gave it a bump from 385 horsepower to 405 horsepower and changed their rear shock valving for a smoother ride. So if you drive the 2001 cars, they are rougher and only have 385 horsepower, but they're $3,000, $4,000 less. So if you need to get that into your budget, you may want to consider one. If you want a white one, that was only available in 2001. 2002 Electron Blue, which is what I had for my car, replaced white. So the ones we're concentrating on today are 2002 to 2004, and they had the 5.7 liter V8 LS6 engine producing 405 horsepower, 400 foot-pounds of torque. They were only available with a 6-speed manual and a fixed roof, so you didn't have the target top. But if you're gonna, that's why they make an excellent track car. My C4 Corvette I used to track, and all the screws came out of the A-pillar, had squeaks and rattles from this top here. It didn't have the stiffness. The Z06 has that stiffness and is a great track car out of the box. 0 to 60 time in about 4.1 seconds, though Car and Driver Motor Trend, they actually got 3.9 seconds on this car, which was incredible in 2002. That was essentially faster than a 996 turbo, a 360 Ferrari Modena, and it's had some really cool features. It's got a heads-up display. And when I owned my car, I'm like, why doesn't every car have a heads-up display? Active handling, which was standard. In 2004, they made a commemorative edition that has all the stickers on the hood. They sell for a little more money. I don't know if they're actually going to be collectible, but they are more than, say, an 02 or 03. I had an 02 Electron Blue. They all came with a black interior, and the black interior was like, it was like not even leather. You felt like you were sitting on vinyl or plastic seats, and the interior is very plastically. So if you can get through the interior, and after 3 years of driving it almost every day, it started to bother me. And when I had this car, I had my dream garage. I only could afford 2 cars. I had a Laguna Seca Blue E46 M3, black interior, coupe, sunroof delayed, 6-speed manual, in this car. So I got stuck a lot in the snow because my 2 cars were Z06 and an E46 M3. But pricing on these cars, you get an 02 with mileage about 18,000. You get a real low mileage 02, 03, about 24,000. I don't think these cars are going to go any lower. They're a great buy. Buy one of these now for 18, 20,000. I would just buy a cheaper one with mileage as long as it's been maintained and got a good history, and keep that till you're ready to make the jump in the C8. You might like this car so much, you buy the C8 and keep both of them. That's how good I think this car is, especially for the money. It's a great, I mean, you could buy a Miata or an S2000 or this to do track days or autocross. I would take this all day long. Maintenance is really minimal on these cars. Obviously, you'll go through tires, brakes, the usual stuff. They are very reliable cars. I had no problems with mine. I drove them back to back in 02 to 01 in an autocross. I much prefer the handling, especially for street use for the 02, and you will feel that 20 horsepower difference. So definitely go out and buy this car. All right, now choice number 2 has supercar performance, and choice number 3 will be a car you can buy now that has great performance, that's going to go up in value and be a future collectible. So the second choice I have, and in no particular order, the second one we're doing in this video is the C6 Z06. Now this car has a lot more performance than the C5 Z06, but it will cost some more money. Now this has the LS7 engine, 505 horsepower, 7-liter V8, 3,100 pounds, same weight as the C5 Z06 essentially, only comes with a manual trans. Now that 0 to 60 time has dropped from that 3.9, 4.1 seconds down to 3.5. Car and Driver tested it with a Ferrari F430, and this was faster. The F430 with the F1 trans was about 3.6 seconds to 60. This car, which was about 65,000 brand new, did a 3.5 second 0 to 60 and an 11.5 quarter mile. And the handling was great too, though you had a little trouble getting that power to the ground, 1.2 G's in the turn. Now again, these cars are about $65,000. An F430 as tested was about $190,000. So you have this for less than 1/3 of the price. You have all that performance. Now I drove a Z06 back in 2006. I drove a brand new Z06 back to back with a new Ferrari F430, and the Z06 was faster. And did the Ferrari have better sounds? Yeah. But the Corvette was a manual, much better transmission, and you could buy 3.5 Corvettes for that Ferrari money. Now, values now, high mileage cars, were anywhere from 65,000 miles to 80,000 miles, are asking about 28,000. Low mileage cars are in the low to mid 30s. And there's some problems with these cars. You know, go to the forums, maybe we'll do a buyer's guide on it. There's some things that you have to make sure have been fixed, so you'll have to fix them. But this is phenomenal supercar performance. And I think these cars are at the bottom of the depreciation curve. They're probably going to settle, I would say, between 25 and 30 grand at the end of the day. You know, within the next couple of years, I think when the C8 Z06 comes out, it'll push these prices down, because now that's going to have phenomenal performance. Who knows? It might be 2.8 seconds to 60, and it's mid-engine. So these cars still have a little more to go, but not much more to go. I still would buy them now. Buy a clean low mileage car, and there's a couple different blue cars available with it as well. Some facts you might not know about the C6 Corvette is it actually weighs less than a Ferrari Enzo or Carrera GT. This is roughly 3,100 pounds or just over. Those cars are just over 32 pounds. So here you can brag to your friends, not only do you have supercar performance, but your car weighs less than a Ferrari Enzo or a Carrera GT. All right, and the last car on our list, which I think is a must-buy right now, that'll go up in value now. It may take a little while to go up in value. It may be another 5 years before you see these cars shoot up, but these cars could easily be $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 cars in 20 years from now. And that's why I think you need to pick these up now while these cars are cheap. And that is the C4 ZR1. Now, that car was made here in the United States from 1990 to 1995. In 1993, they got a power bump. And I think any year car it's a very visceral handling car. It's got hydraulic steering. It's got an awesome engine, a great chassis. And these cars are just a blast to drive. Now, the C4 ZR1, again, is also a light car, about 3,200 pounds, especially light for today. It had a Lotus design dual overhead cam V8 built by Mercury Marine. Now, the original cars had 1990, they had 375 horsepower. Now, the 0 to 60 time, remember 1990 wasn't a 993 turbo yet. That was in the high 3, 0 to 60. It was still the 964 turbo. And this car was faster at the time when it was new than a brand new 964 turbo or a Ferrari 348. Now, it was double the price of a C4 Corvette, and they made 6,939 ZR1s. Now, that's still pretty a low number. They made over 10,000 Lamborghini Gallardos. They made over 10,000 Lamborghini Huracans. They made 8,900 NSXs. So that's still a pretty good low production number. The cars originally had 385 horsepower. The later models had 405 horsepower and 385 foot-pounds of torque. Now, these cars are pretty cheap. You can get a 1990 for probably about in the low 20s. You know, the 95s will cost you more. They'll run into the 30s for low mileage examples. But these cars, you know, they're going to at least double in value, if not triple in value. I would say you probably have to wait another 5 years, and then you'll probably see them go up 20 grand. And then I think 10 years from now, or when these cars, typically cars peak around 30 years old. So when the 1990s are 30 years old, or the 1995 30 years old, I wouldn't be surprised if they're $75,000 or $100,000. So remember, Glenn told you to buy these cars when they're $20,000, $30,000 cars, and you would triple your money. How happy would you make your family and your spouse if you bought one of those today? So buy them just like a stock. You got to buy them before everybody says to buy them. So I can't stress this enough. Buy this car right away. It is a blast to drive. It is a part of Corvette history, and it'll be a, if not a six-figure car, very close to six figures. So you want to buy low mileage examples. Obviously, they only came in stick shift. That's how they did it back then, the performance cars. You want to get the car as stock as possible. And Corvette's community is a great community, so you can still get parts for these cars. They're relatively inexpensive to run. You know, tires are not that expensive. Maintenance is minimal on these cars. So I think they will be a blast and a car you can keep in your garage and enjoy for years to come. Thanks again for watching, guys. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you. Leave a comment below what you think of my choices. And I will see you next time.